Good morning. My name is Joe Sturdivant, former active duty Marine. I went in the Marine Corps based on my American government teacher's reenactment of the Vietnam conflict in American government class. And I got inspired by what the brave men participated in that war. And that sort of kind of created an interest in the Marine Corps, the military just in general. And so a few days later, the recruiters came to our school in the auditorium, and I saw this guy in the dress blue uniform. I'm like, wow, this guy looks sharp. I want to be like him. Even though at the time I was thinking about going to college, a Christian college at the time, and somehow I didn't think I was smart enough to go to college, so I went into the military because those things that the Marine Corps talked about is what I wanted to be a part of my life as a young man. So I went to the Marine Corps and went in an open contract. The military sort of kind of picked the occupational specialty for me based on my ASVAB score. And there were three choices. And since my dad, who was Army, and he was in the transportation department, I picked motor transport. So that's what I did in the Marine Corps. And I just had a great experience in my Marine Corps career. I actually met many people. I met some extraordinary leaders. Had opportunities to go different places and served two B billets. One of my favorite all-time positions was as the drill instructor, and so I had an opportunity to train young men to become U.S. Marines, and that was a very rewarding experience for me to see the growth of our Marine Corps, and that I had an opportunity to be a part of that. And I remember as a young sergeant, training recruits to be prepared for war, and what you will learn in recruit training will save your life one day. And that was something that I remember vividly impressing upon those young men in recruit training. And I never thought that I had the opportunity to go to war because that's what we do as Marines when we're called to go forth. We go forth, and had no doubts about it. And so I deployed my first operation, Operation Desert Storm, Desert Shield. I was a young sergeant, and came back from that, and then continued my Marine Corps career. And late in my Marine Corps career, as I was about ready to leave the military, I was deployed to Iraq, and I served with an elite organization I think is one of the best fighting forces in the infantry department, and that's where I had an opportunity to serve with some brave warriors, and a few of us encountered some situations which affected our lives. And I can say that I look back in retrospect and have no regrets about my calling to go forth and be a part of something greater than myself. And so I left the military not knowing that the war would affect my life, and it caused significant changes in my personality and who I was. And I struggled in my transition when I left the military, and went to the Department of Veterans Affairs, and there was this social worker that talked about the Intermarine Semper Fund, like how they have this thing called case management, and how they have case managers that help individuals that transition out of the military. And so that's when I took the time to reflect on myself as a human being and say, hey, I need to do something different because I felt hopeless and helpless in my life. I felt like things weren't the same, and it reflected on my family as well. I remember one time trying to find comfort in my own house, and I sort of kind of curled up in a ball, and I was in a closet, and my daughters were laughing at me, and I was like, they don't understand what I was going through, and that was a wake-up call for me to ask for help. And so I actually reached out and was able to apply for assistance, and the assistance that it gave me is unmatched from any organization that I've known, and I've worked with many organizations as far as asking for services, but the Semper Fund, my case manager, Christy Stover, she's definitely an awesome person. She's been with me through thick and thin. She's been there to encourage me, to guide me, to help me find the resources that get me back on track. And so to this day, she calls and checks in on me and see if I need anything. And so just that phone call, just to check in and say, hey, I still care about you, Joe Sturdivant, You and the family okay? Means a lot to me, being a part of this great institution. What I also like about Semper Fi Fund is that we have this thing in the military: leave no service member behind, leave no Marine behind. And so, because they're a great institution with compassion, and they've been a need for service members, they've expanded their services to all branches of service, which is phenomenal because there was times where I had fellow veterans that I served with and from other branches, and they needed help, and I didn't know who to send them to. Now there's opportunities for them, so I'm just grateful for Semper Fi Fund and America's Fund that they do things for the families as well. So I'm just grateful for that opportunity. So when I transitioned out of the military, I went to the Department of Veterans Affairs and sought help because as a veteran, I remember some of the transition information they provided saying, hey, the VA is there to help you. And I know that they're a government entity and they only can do so much. And so the social worker was talking about these different 501(c)(3)s, these different organizations that provided services for veterans. And I was kind of a person with proudful, like I'm good to go. I don't need any help. I'm a leader of Marines. I don't really need any help. But there was a time where things were really hard in my family's life. I was transitioning out, didn't have employment, didn't know how I was going to be able to pay rent. I actually stayed in government housing a year past my EAS because we couldn't find a place to live in San Diego. And so Semper Fi and American Funds came to the rescue when I took the opportunity to fill out an application and submitted my information about who I was, the legitimacy of, hey, I'm a veteran, I served. Not that I deserved anything, but I'm actually reaching out for help. I need the compassion because a lot of organizations talk about they're going to help the veterans, but it's only their words. But my experience of when I first found out about Semper Fi and I met my case manager and I listened to her voice, I can tell she was genuine. She was one that was not picked as a job, but it was like the individuals that work for Semper Fi and also America's Fund are individuals that are handpicked by the leadership, someone that has compassion, and it's shown. It's shown by their attitudes, by their the breadth of their opportunity to reach out to you at any given time, regardless if it's late at night. They'll text you, they'll call you, and I'll get back with you. And so that is something that's often needed for combat veterans like myself. When we think that nobody's there for us, I was able to call my case manager or text her, and she got back with me immediately. And so that was unmatched. I call case management. That was unmatched services that I couldn't find from no one else. Even the peer support models are not available like the organization that has provided services to me. So the journey of transition, I often reflect where I am as I meet with veterans. I had the awesome opportunity to work for the Department of Veterans Affairs as a patient advocate, a transition patient advocate to be more accurately. And I meet so many people and I get inspired by those that are transitioning because I never try to tell them that they need to get help. I always try to encourage them that there's a better lifestyle. There's better. If you make better choices, you'll have a better quality of life. And so, I would say just connecting with other veterans have also helped me to find a better quality of life, finding a community, finding a tribe, being a part of something greater than myself, giving back to other veterans that are transitioning that have difficulties, not trying to give them advice, but trying to show them the way that there's resources available for you if you trust the process. If you trust the process. And I just thank God that I was able to trust the process and have people to believe in me as a veteran, to believe in me and to help me, support me in my efforts to find recovery. And I would say that even some of the Vietnam veterans I connect with, I get inspired by them because one day I might be like them, trying to help another veteran get to a better place. We have so many veterans that are struggling and they're too proud to reach out for help. But I would challenge those individuals to look at themselves and ask themselves, can I do better? Do I deserve better? I think you deserve better because you served. You served honorably and faithfully. Come and get the resources that are available for you because you deserve those resources. So moving forward in my recovery process, I oftentimes reflect on the opportunities that are given to service members. And I look back at the Vietnam veterans, and the resources weren't as plentiful as they are today for our young men and women. And I'm so grateful to our donors that they see compassion, they have compassion, that is, to provide for legitimate organizations that use the funding and the resources to the extent that it helps the veterans and their family members. And so when I go to these various conventions, like I went to the Semper banquet, and I see all the different donors, I'm amazed that there's that much compassion, that those kind of people still exist in the world. And the world is definitely, it's a troubling times right now, and economically speaking, a lot of organizations are not thriving as they used to be, but they still have the gift to give. And I'm proud of those donors that they have the opportunity to give to organizations like America and Semper Fund, because they do extraordinary things. They have this thing called public trust, and I think unmatched from any other organization, America Funds and Semper Fund, they definitely use the money and the resources to the best.